Welcome to the show. The conversion has been completed. The last true liberal, Tulsi Gabbard, has finished her conversion, has kissed the ring, yes, and she has endorsed Donald Trump for president. I know that there's a slice of a sliver of my audience that doesn't like it when I remind them. It's not 99.8% of you, but it might be 0.2. You fell for it. You fell for it back in 2020, and you fell for the whole Tulsi's the only real left-winger thing. And I told you it's a scam and a grift, and she's terrible, and you're getting bamboozled. And now she's endorsing Donald Trump, and she's doing the anti-vax stuff, and she's doing the anti-trans stuff. So here is Donald Trump at a borderline deranged event in Detroit, Michigan, telling us Tulsi is here, and then we will hear her talk about how she is going to do everything she can to make sure Donald Trump becomes president.
And today I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot, a 17-year veteran of the Hawaii Army National Guard, a 4-term Democrat Congresswoman, very, very popular, the former vice chair of the National Democratic Party and a 2020 Democrat candidate for the United States presidency. You know, she was a very good candidate. Every time she ran, she was good. She did well. She decided to leave. She
didn't do well.
Take it anymore, but she is very special. And I didn't know this, but she was a lieutenant colonel. That's not bad. Lieutenant colonel. Not bad. I didn't know that. You know, I just found out. I said, put it.
Remember that if you support Trump, your service is to be praised. If you don't support Trump, your service is to be diminished and ridiculed. Very important way to support the troops.
Down. You got to put that down. That's bigger. That's better than all the other stuff I read. But no, she's a special person. She's got great common sense, great spirit. She loves our country, and she loves the people in this room. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, please.
Please. There it is. Thank you very much. So we're going to play Tulsi explaining what she's doing. A couple things. Number one, I really do appreciate all the people who have put their ego aside and they've written in saying, David, you were right. I feel so stupid. You were right all along. What on earth was I doing getting tricked by Tulsi Gabbard? But more importantly, because this is a show to some degree about patting myself on the back, but not exclusively. So I don't want to just do that for the whole hour. I'm kidding. But the important thing is there are real Republicans who continue espousing Republican values and positions that have realized Trump is toxic and they are voting for Kamala Harris, not because they agree with her on everything, but simply because they realize Trump's toxic and bad for the country and the world. Republicans are trying to make it seem like, hey, Democrats are crawling all over themselves to come and endorse Trump as well. The difference is that Tulsi Gabbard doesn't have any democratic beliefs at this point, so it's very much a false equivalency. And okay, so let's listen to Tulsi here.
Whether you're a soldier, you're an airman, a Marine, sailor, or a coastie, he keeps us in his heart in the decisions that he makes.
Right.
We saw this through his first term in the presidency, when he not only didn't start any new wars, he took action to de-escalate and prevent wars. He exercised the courage that we expect from our commander-in-chief in exhausting all measures of diplomacy, having the courage to meet with adversaries, dictators, allies, and partners alike in the pursuit of peace, seeing war as a last resort. The truth is, as we head towards our decision as a country in November, the same cannot be said about Kamala Harris.
Ooh.
In fact, the opposite is true, and we're living through this reality today as this administration has us facing multiple wars on multiple fronts and regions around the world.
Note that this administration doesn't have us facing any wars.
And closer to the brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before. This is one of the main reasons why I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President Trump back to the White House, where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief.
It's actually nauseating. It's vomitous. Tulsi is vomitous. And it's important to mention, who cares about policy? But by endorsing Trump, Tulsi is aligning herself with someone who epitomizes many of the forces she used to rail against when she sort of was on the left, I guess, although kind of not really. She was really kind of more one of these libertarian, pseudo contrarian types. It was always kind of a grift, I think, is what we landed on. And, the Trump administration, unprecedented levels of corporate influence, which at one point Tulsi said she was against, Trump's cabinet resembling basically just like a group of industry people. The foreign policy has not been non-interventionist, which is what Tulsi Gabbard championed at one point. Escalation in Yemen, assassinating Iranian general, which almost led to a war, if you want to talk about that. Very transactional approach to international alliances without any feeling of responsibility or commitment as the United States. So put aside the fact that the Trump rhetoric also targets marginalized communities, of which Tulsi Gabbard, in some sense, is a member. On every level, she is highlighting this broader trend in American politics where anti-establishment rhetoric, no matter where you start on the political spectrum, ends up being a gateway to right-wing populism. If you just say, I'm anti-establishment, no matter what that means or whether it even makes sense in this particular case, you often end up in this echo chamber of the right. And it doesn't matter if it starts on the left and right, because when it comes to the so-called anti-establishment stuff, the lines actually get quite blurred. So there's an irony to Tulsi's endorsement of Trump. There's certainly a betrayal of the progressive values she claimed to uphold, which I don't know if she really believed. And it's really a cautionary tale at the end of the day about how Bernie is never going to do it, right? We know what Bernie really believes. He said it. He abides by it. Bernie is not a guy that we're going to say, oh my goodness, he did a 180. Now he's supporting Jordan Peterson and saying no. But with people like Tulsi, with Trump, who got into politics late in the game, the principles they claim to espouse often end up just being whatever they find to get them attention. Tulsi got attention one way, that went away, and she found a new way to get attention, which culminates in endorsing Donald Trump. Pathetic and disgusting. Staying healthy is all about sustainable habits, something you'll actually stick to, which is why I've been using AG1 in the morning for years now. It's just so much simpler than messing with a bunch of different vitamin pills and products. And with just a single scoop of AG1, I get the vitamins, minerals, and probiotics I want, and I'm keeping my nutritional bases covered for the day. It's just easy. It's easy. I feel better. My energy lasts longer. In a recent research study, 97% of participants reported feeling more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. In a recent study, AG1 was shown to even double the healthy bacteria in the gut. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription order at drinkag1.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.